For the first round, we made 50,000 rupees by investing 10,000 rupees. I said, great, this is a money machine. So let's keep on investing 10,000. Let's keep on making 50,000. By the end of the year, we'll be millionaires. I know creators of the same category. Both of them have 100,000 followers. One of them makes 50 lakhs a year. The other doesn't even make 5 lakhs a year. Flow of money will increase in both the platforms. It's just that money per creator will decrease on Instagram.
Okay.
Money per creator on YouTube will increase.
Today we had somebody on the podcast who I would bet my money on. One of India's biggest infotainment YouTube channel, Ganesh Prasad, aka Thinkschool. In today's podcast, we primarily discuss two things. Number one, the creator economy, the nuances of being a creator and the future. And number two, the Indian economy, the businesses in India, and what the opportunity presents. But before we begin officially, I remember I was speaking to Parsh. This was when This was when you guys were at 300,000 subscribers, and I was like, "Bro, I have this podcast, many adult troubles. Next, you guys need to come." And he said, "Done." And then he said, "Once we hit 1 million subscribers, we'll do it." And I'm like, "Okay." Now these guys hit 1 million subscribers in like 2 months or 3 months, something like that. I don't know what was the number, but 700 कुछ था. 2 महीने में 1 million हो गए. पार्ट्स को लग रहा था आराम से 6 महीने बाद इसने बात टाल दिया. 1 million हिट हो गए. फिर मैंने उसको टेक्स्ट किया कि ब्रो इट्स 1 million, लेट्स डू इट. देन ही सेड 2 million. ठीक है. देन 5 months later it hit 2 million. Then I texted him again. Bro 2 million भी हो गए. आप क्या 10 million पे करोगे? And then finally today कितने पे? 3.8 million. 3.4 million. 3.4x of 1 million हो चुका है. तब जाके आप आए हो. तो आपको कैसा लग रहा है कि finally you made it to my podcast?
बहुत ही बढ़िया लग रहा है. It feels like winning an award. Thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast.
Thank you so much for coming, bro. But before, there are probably two things that I want to discuss. One is the creator economy, and the other bit is the business and economic side of it, which primarily you're known for.
Okay.
But before that, let's just do a quick 10-15 minutes of context setting before your life started in the YouTube era or the Mumbai era, as the era or whatever I say. So, what was Ganesh doing before YouTube?
So before YouTube, I was doing civil engineering. And in the second semester of 4th year, we started Thinkschool. And Thinkschool did not start as a YouTube channel. We started as an education company.
Correct.
Which wanted to teach things that schools and colleges don't. And one such thing that we picked was design thinking. So back then, because I was doing civil engineering, I remember we had no company placements at all. So computer science guys were getting a 4.5 lakhs package. Mech guys were getting a minimum of 3.5 lakhs package. IT guys were doing like 6 lakhs per annum, and civil engineering students did not have any companies coming in at all. In fact, some people actually switched to IT in the 4th year.
To get placements. So in 3rd year, I realized that I'm not going to get placed, and I was terrible at doing civil engineering. So I thought I might as well find my passion. That is how I started TEDx in my college. Loved it. I said, let's extend this and then teach students what schools and colleges don't, because that's exactly what TED does. And that is how Thinkschool was born. So in the second semester of 4th year, we started to tell people that we want to teach you design thinking. Nobody understood that. So we switched to public speaking. And suddenly the market was huge because everybody wanted to learn public speaking. And then we switched to interview training. And then suddenly we had a batch that was even bigger. And that is how we started making money. This is pre-YouTube era.
This is in 2019, pre-YouTube, pre-Instagram, pre-everything.
Okay.
That is how we started with a small classroom that we got for 7,000 rupees per month in rent without an agreement.
Yeah.
That is how Thinkschool started.
Yeah.
And after that, because the schedule of engineering is very hectic, even though students had very high intent to make it to the classroom, they couldn't come because they had assignments, they had Viva, they had internals and stuff like that. And that's when we realized that if the ideal customer who wants to make it to the classroom, who wants to pay for the course, is not able to make it to the classroom, then this course is of no use. And that is how we switched to online. When we switched to online, we wanted to find a way to market it. And that's how we started with Instagram. So we thought if we could create content and then run performance ads, when people actually visit our profile, they will watch our IGTV videos and maybe choose to stick. So that way we thought our ROAS will increase, return on ad spend will increase. That is how we started creating content for Instagram. So we were putting out content about interview training, communication, this and that. And that's when I realized that, this is commoditized content. Everybody can make it. Let's make that type of content, which is very difficult to make, which will be like an aspiration for other people to learn.
Right.
And that's how we started with business case studies. So the first case study that we posted on Instagram was Alibaba versus eBay. And it blew up, 10,000
On
views.
Instagram.
On Instagram. 10,000 views, very big deal. And that is how we started with digital profile building workshop, which was the second phase of Instagram where we started monetizing our audience. So we ran ads, and then for the first round, we made 50,000 rupees by investing 10,000 rupees. I said, great, this is a money machine. So let's keep on investing 10,000. Let's keep
Yeah.
on making 50,000. By the end of the year, we'll be millionaires.
Yeah.
Turns out that's not how
Ross
marketing
kept
works.
going down.
So we realized that the return on ad spend started decreasing.
Yeah.
We had to spend 20K to make 50K, then 30K to make 50K. And then eventually the profit margins were not significant enough. And that's when we realized that if we want to extract better return on ad spend, we have to earn the trust of the audience. The trust should be so powerful that all you need to do is remind your audience that you have a product and not sell the product to the audience. And that is how we started creating content at scale very consistently. It blew up. But then again, we hit a roadblock when we realized that Instagram is not a platform that can help you achieve exponential growth. So I took a 2 months break. I reshot all my courses because we had an audio problem. And that's how we started with YouTube 2 months later, after the 2-month break. And then 3 months later, we hit 100K subscribers. Great validation. Hit 1 million by the end of the year and 3 million at the end of next year.
Yeah.
So that's the story of Thinkschool. From the classroom, design thinking didn't work. Public speaking worked very well. Online course couldn't sell. Instagram, we sold very well. Switched to YouTube, sold even better. And then Instagram as a platform itself started making us a lot of money. And that's how we are here today.
Right. So Thinkschool started not as a YouTube channel, but as an education company. And YouTube channel started to just sell the courses of
Correct.
Thinkschool.
That's what I say to everyone, that Thinkschool is not a YouTube channel. YouTube is merely an instrument of marketing. It's just the most effective instrument of marketing that actually pays money to market yourself.
Correct.
So Thinkschool is way beyond a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep telling people. But because YouTube is so significant, people by default assume that Thinkschool is a YouTube channel.
Yeah. I think 95% of feel just that YouTube channel is the main thing. And then
Yeah.
courses now is suddenly taking a rest because now you're talking about it as well.
Correct.
Got it. And talk a little bit about role of Parsh in this, all of this Thinkschool.
Okay.
Your co-founder.
So we are two co-founders. Parsh is the one who takes care of the operations, and I'm the one who takes care of content. So anything that you see on screen is done by me. Anything that you don't see on screen, which is perhaps more important than what you see on screen, which is the employee management, the course management, the LMS management, the entire operations of digital marketing. How do we position our courses?
Looking at the business side of it.
Yeah, overseeing the PR, overseeing the agency business, everything else is done by Parsh. So we work with an agency called iPlix, and Parsh is the one who actually heads the team which works for Thinkschool. So
Right.
usually what happens is that there's an agency, there's a creator.
Right.
So the creator takes care of all the content, the agency takes care of the business. But with us, because we're two co-founders and Parsh has an expertise with brand communication and conversion,
Yeah.
he heads the unit that works for Thinkschool at iPlix, which is how things become even more efficient. So there's a team which is an expert in doing so, and there's an oversight of the co-founder. That's the basic structure of Thinkschool. Content is headed by me, and operations are headed by Parsh.
Got it. All right. So now moving on to the creator economy bit. So I personally have been in the creator economy for a good 5-6 years. And just yesterday I was speaking to this founder who was trying to build something in the creator economy, and the conversation was going like, so when COVID hit, pre-COVID, there was a first and second generation of creators, so that we call. Now during COVID, a new generation of creator comes in, which is short form content creators. A lot of people blew up, reels started to come in, YouTube creators like you and many more also started to come in. Now that is over. It's been 2 years, 3 years since COVID had happened. And today we sit at a place where everybody wants to be a creator. Every third person is an influencer, either a fashion, finance influencer or something like that. The importance of YouTube, probably that's why is increasing, because supply of creators is increasing on Instagram, but not on YouTube as much, right?
Yeah.
Because it's getting harder and harder to create on YouTube because of the dopamine that you're getting on Instagram. So where do you see this space going? Firstly, as a creator economy, and then as a platform creator economy.
Okay, let me break down my answer into two parts. First, let's start with the platform. The fundamental principle of business says that if you want to be a significant player in the market, you have to do something that is very valuable and yet very difficult for your competitors to mimic. In this case, if you look at YouTube versus Instagram,
Yeah.
how difficult is it to create a 90-second reel? It's very easy. As a result, there are multiple creators who are jumping into the Instagram bandwagon.
Correct.
I was speaking to one of my friends who also works for an agency, and he told me that back then there was a gold rush on YouTube for entertainment content creators. But suddenly, after Reels, that entire market shifted to Instagram Reels because the primary metric of the brand was just impression count. As in, how many people actually check out the brand or how many people see the brand while the content is being played.
100%.
And suddenly what happened is that all the other brands also started to count impression. And they got quick visibility with Instagram. So do you see how the market has shaped up? A content that is easy to make is now making a lot of money. So everybody jumped into that Instagram bandwagon.
Yep.
But what people forget is that when the market comes crashing down, it's not the impression count that counts, it is the conversion that counts. And conversion is very high on YouTube. This is again for two reasons. Number one, when you watch somebody on Instagram, you don't take that person very seriously. Fashion is a different case. I'm talking about infotainment. Because imagine the frame of mind while you're consuming Instagram content. You're just scrolling through it.
Yeah.
Instagram is an instrument that helps you get over boredom. But how do you watch YouTube? YouTube has a more serious frame of mind. So when you watch YouTube content, the trust that the creator commands with YouTube is very high. But currently, the money that is coming is very low on YouTube. But the trust is very high. So right now, everybody's headed to Instagram and very few people are headed to YouTube. Why? Very difficult, less money. But eventually what happens? The market will calibrate. Like you said, there are too many Instagram content creators, which means less differentiation. So today you could be a creator who has hit 100,000 followers. Tomorrow somebody else will come in and they'll also hit 100,000 followers. And suddenly 100,000 followers will no longer be a big deal. Then what will become a big deal? Conversion. And what do you require for conversion? Trust. What do you require for trust? Very high value. Where can you give very high value? YouTube. So this is the difference between two platforms. One gives you impression, one gives you conversion. Now I come to the second part, which is where is the creator economy heading? Right?
Correct.
That's the question.
Yeah. If so many creators keep coming, it's almost as if, because content creation is also getting easier because of Instagram Reels, edit, etc., etc. It's almost getting commoditized in one sense.
Yeah.
So is it like everybody will be a creator and everybody will have a personal brand and then just like performance marketing? Initially 2016, 17, 18 was like, oh, it's a big deal. And then everybody was trying to get into it. Brands like Soul Store, who started in 2013, 14, had a great advantage to build a D2C brand because of performance marketing.
Correct.
Today, if I start a Soul Store like company, I'll barely be able to make any money if I don't have personal distribution. So from that sense, where is creator economy headed? What is the goal of
the creator economy? And for that matter, the future of creator economy will always optimize for trust. It's as simple as that.
So are you saying that 2 years down the line, there can be a lot of creators with 100,000, 200,000 subscribers who are doing nothing with it, who are as good as unemployed?
That is still the case. There are a lot of creators. I know a lot of creators who have 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers. They don't make money, bro. I know creators who have 100,000 followers who barely make money. Like 20,000, 30,000 rupees a month. I know creators of the same category, both of them have 100,000 followers. One of them makes 50 lakhs a year. The other doesn't even make 5 lakhs a year.
But is that brand money or is it like course money?
Brand money.
Agency money? Just brand money.
Yes.
50 lakhs a year.
Yeah.
100,000 subscribers.
100,000 subscribers. 100,000 followers.
Okay.
On Instagram.
And the difference is because this guy has trust? Okay.
Content. How good is the content? If you read through both of their comments, you will see that one of them has 10 10, 20 comments. The other guy has 100 comments. Like, dude, this was very useful. This was very helpful. I gave this recipe to my mom and now I'm having the tastiest breakfast. It's the trust. So if a person who commands very high trust says, buy Borosil, people will flock to buy Borosil. But if the person B, who does not command a lot of trust, says, buy Borosil,
Got it.
very few people will. As a result, Borosil will pay more money to creator A and not creator B.
Correct. Got it. So, I mean, how we judge it as a agency business is that, let's say 2 people have 100,000 subscribers. Trust is of course there, but we also look at the quality of the content. Once we go through the content piece, you see 5 reels, 10 reels, or 5 YouTube videos, 10 YouTube videos. With the personality, with the type of content, the depth of content, engagement, you can also judge ki this is a time pass creator or an algorithm creator. A lot of like Instagram has given birth to so many creators who don't even deserve to have like 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 subscribers. A lot of people like that as well. So what can these kind of creators do if they don't have trust? If they are not, mostly they just start selling courses because they have a distribution. They're like, okay, let's just start doing that, and that is something that they do.
Yeah.
So what is going to happen to this space when people are already starting to realize that, okay, these creators are not like proper creators, they're just like random lucky folks out there.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
This could be very controversial.
Go for it.
But the only way in which most of these creators will make money is through betting apps.
It's already happening.
Yeah, it's already happening. That's why I said it's very controversial.
Even big celebrities are doing it.
I'm not taking the name of the celebrities and the company, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, of course.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay.
Today only I saw a story.
Yeah.
There was this person who tweeted that the more and more creators who promote these betting apps, the more careers end there itself.
Careers don't end, bro.
Creator career, like आपकी audience के नजर में गया.
No.
नहीं? Then what do you think?
They just find a different type of audience. That's it.
So coming back to the YouTube versus Instagram discussion, you said that YouTube in the long term is going to win, right?
Yeah.
I also agree with it. But right now what it feels like is that YouTube, if you can build an audience there, it's more suitable for doing something with that audience yourself as a brand. Like either launch a brand of yourself or a course or something like that. Compared to Instagram, where doing this is very difficult because you're just you're one in many. But you can, as you mentioned, make a lot of money from the brands. This is what I feel right now, that YouTube is not very suitable for brand deals because integration is something which is very popular. We have done a lot of integrations and these 90-second videos that we used to do 2 years ago, 1 year ago, which are going down right now in the market. And the common sentiment that I get from a brand is that we don't want to promote our brand for 90 seconds in a 10-minute, 15-minute video wherein the creator is talking about something that we have nothing to do with. So either give us a dedicated video or give us a conceptual video which is related to our brand and give us 2-3 minutes into it. What's your take on that? Where is this headed? As a brand?
Depends on the brand, bro.
Okay.
Depends on what type of brand it is.
But you don't see this trend?
I do see this trend, but I don't think it makes sense. I'll tell you why. Because the brands who have extracted the maximum return on investment from Thinkschool have been brands who have given us the creative liberty to choose whatever topic we consider to be best, and they gave us the freedom to integrate the brand the way they wanted, the way we wanted. I'll give you 3 examples. Cuckoo FM, Small Case, Skillshare. Skillshare said, give us a shout out in the first 3 or 4 minutes, and that's it. That's our criteria. Choose whichever topic you want. Unless it's very controversial, we will support your content. They got a return on ad spend of 260% from Thinkschool. Cuckoo FM, they said, we want very high visibility. We understand that conversion will be very less. But you choose the topic that you think will blow up on YouTube. Even if it doesn't, it's okay. We will support your content. They genuinely supported our content. And they were not very transactional. Look at all the views that Cuckoo FM videos have got. All of them have crossed 1 million. This is when we had 300,000 subscribers also, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They said, you choose whichever video you want, we will support you. 1 million views during that time. So the third brand is Small Case. Small Case said, we believe that we will get good conversion if you choose a video that has to do with a particular industry.
Correct.
So if you are covering an industry as a whole, we believe the integration will do very well. But then again, it's your choice. We made a video on the budget, they supported our content. We made a video on the EV industry, they supported our content. Now, what this does is that because the brand is so good to us, although we may not force push a particular video, if I have a video that has to do with a particular industry, I will call the small case brand manager and I will tell him that, bro, I've got a video like this. Would you like to sponsor? And every time we did that, they said yes. Great conversion.
But this is a conceptual video I'm talking about, no? Brands want to do this.
They gave us an option. It's not like we did all conceptual videos. We also did normal videos. They still supported that. And same is the case with Wintwealth also. So all these brands who gave us the creative liberty to choose the topic that we wanted, they got great return on ad spend. Why? Because of two reasons. Number one, the video that we chose, it did very well on YouTube, and we have an understanding of which video will do well, which video will not do well. Number two, turns out it really doesn't matter who the sponsor is. If the creator says that these people are supporting my work and they have a great product, people will go and buy that product. Web of Sindhi said this to me. You know, back then, about 6 to 7 months back, Thinkschool was the only brand that he was working with. I asked him, bro, what do you think is so special about Thinkschool that we are the only creator you're working with? He said, and I quote, that you guys have the maximum brand value on YouTube. So I don't care how many people actually subscribe to my course. If people hear from Thinkschool that Growth School is great, that is enough for me. So he said that to me, this ad spend is a combination of two variables. One is branding and the other is conversion. With conversion, if I spend X amount of money, even if I get 0.5, the rest 0.5 is about branding.
True.
So tomorrow when I run performance, because Ganesh has said that Growth School is great, when we run performance, the recall will be very high. And there I'll be able to extract great return on ad spend.
Yeah.
This is exactly how you're supposed to think. But I'll tell you something very honestly. Most brand managers, they have no idea how marketing works.
Yeah.
They have no idea how social media works. They have no idea how creators work. I don't even know if they're reading books.
Yeah.
And this is again a message to all the brand managers. Guys, if you're listening to this, you got to read more. You got to understand the industry better if you want to give better conversion to your brands. And you have no idea how YouTube works. You have no idea how Instagram works. If you think you know, then if you look at your campaigns, by default, you must have given extraordinary returns. If you haven't, it's not like the campaign did not do well. You did not do well. Because the agency is sitting over here, the creator is sitting over here. We know the kind of value that we've given to the brands.
Yeah.
So that's the case, bro. Brands are heading towards Instagram because the brand managers want to spend money on Instagram because they think they can extract better return on investment. But the data says otherwise.
The brand managers is thinking that, okay, why do I pay Thinkschool 1 lakh and get 2 lakh views when I can pay Instagrammer 1 lakh and get 5 lakh views?
That is exactly the problem.
And I'm like, bro, the quality of the audience is the difference here. Like,
and they don't understand marketing, na, bro.
Yeah.
Marketing, if you break it down, it is sales plus branding.
Correct.
They don't understand branding because sales is very easy to understand, na?
Yeah.
Input, output. Sales is basic math pe samajh mein aa jayega. How do you understand branding?
Exactly.
Right? Branding is understanding branding is an art, bro. Very few people understand that. YouTube will give you branding to an extent that you can't imagine. It's not quantifiable, no? So people don't understand that. But, like every market, there'll be some legendary people, like the brand managers of small case, who will understand the importance of branding.
Yeah.
And they know where to invest the money and they get the best return on ad spend because nobody else is spending money. So they get the best cost.
Vint, small case.
Vint is a great example. And that is the reason why Vint has also started their own YouTube channel. It's doing so well.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw that channel, I was like, dude, this is such a unique idea. And when I got on call with one of the Vint guys, he told me that the channel is doing very well. And more importantly, it is driving very high trust towards the brand. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? Because the brand manager understands branding very well. So that's the case. Impression, sales, very easy to measure. Everybody will understand.
That's where the campaign details you're talking about is very impressive with all the brand managers.
Correct.
Because they are nailing that part. But what they're not able to nail is the result, end result, bottom line, which is be it in terms of revenue, AUM, whatever that they are.
Correct. Because the entire system is not incentivizing for real output. It is
Vanity.
incentivized for
Views, impressions, recall.
it is incentivized for a metric that is just good to show, but not good for the long term.
Yeah.
Like impression count. So the brand manager is maybe very obsessed with impression count because he has to report to his manager who maybe has the KPI of impression count. And he is maybe having the incentive for impressions because the founder is looking after impressions, because maybe for the investor presentation, that's what he requires. Impression count. This entire system is optimized for an output that is not sustainable. That is irrelevant. The only thing that should matter is conversion and branding, because branding will drive trust. Eventually, it will drive conversion.
So what is the correction that will happen in the market? Are you trying to say that the money flowing into Instagram will slowly reduce, the money flowing into YouTube will slowly increase, because money is flowing?
No,
it has
money
to flow
will.
somewhere.
The flow of money will increase in both the platforms. It's just that money per creator will decrease on Instagram.
Okay.
Money per creator on YouTube will increase.
But it's a function of the number of creators on YouTube are less now.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Money flowing on both platforms will increase because our market is expanding. There's more and more investor money that's coming in.
Correct.
But because there are a lot of Instagram creators, now if there's a 1 crore brand budget, now he has 200, 300 creators to choose from on Instagram. But on YouTube, he has only 5 to 6 creators to choose from. So the money in general will increase, but the money per creator will decrease. Whereas on YouTube, it is bound to shoot up. I don't know how it will shape up in the next 4 to 5 years because it depends on a lot of factors. But I think the market will by default calibrate
Got it. Okay.
towards more YouTube, more money on YouTube.
So from an influencer marketing perspective, what you're seeing is that the money will go to the top 5% or top 10% if you are optimizing for the real output, which is results, right? Rest of the audience, okay, let's say 10% for results, 10-20% for branding, views, just for the sake of it. So top 20% of the creators will take most of the money. 80-20 rule. 20% of the creators are taking 80% of the money.
True.
Now, this gives us a problem of scale, because then you cannot scale influencer marketing after a point. You can't do more than 20 creators on YouTube, 50 creators on Instagram, let's say the top 20% on both platforms, and then you're done, at least in a category. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, true. It's not very scalable yet. But the market is so huge, bro. That's where more and more creators will come in. Today, you've got 50 creators on YouTube. Tomorrow, you'll have 200 creators on YouTube.
So the creator economy, correct me if I'm wrong, it will evolve in a way that, let's say there are 5 Thinkschool right now, for example. 2 years later, 500 new YouTube channels will come in. That's why we feel so many channels are coming in. But of that 500, 20 new Thinkschools will only come in.
Correct.
So the real people are only 25.
Correct.
Rest 475 are your just there.
Correct. That is always the case in every industry. Let's take Bollywood. In Bollywood, how many people are making money? And how many people are not making money? 80-20 rule applies everywhere. It's bound to happen.
Let's pick an infotainment niche.
Okay.
Marketing case studies. A lot of people create marketing case studies on Instagram or YouTube. Let's pick short form content for now. These creators have 500,000 subscribers, 1 million followers, etc. They talk about, I don't know, iPhone, Apple, blah, blah, blah. And then they have 300,000 views. What are they going to do with those views if brands are not coming in, which is the trend for sure. Brand is going towards the top people now. 1 year ago during COVID, everybody was getting some money because there was so much money flowing in and the people were lesser.
Yeah.
अब ये क्या करेंगे? अब ये 300,000 views वाले लोग क्या करेंगे?
Not in that position, so I have no idea.
Yeah. But I'm sure a lot of creators reach out to you and be like, boss, tell me what to do.
Bro, I don't use Instagram and YouTube at all. I don't.
Short form content.
No, I don't consume. The only thing that I consume are memes that Digvijay sends me. Nothing else apart from that. So I have no idea.
But there's no creator that you have studied, you're not thought about this problem.
I have not studied the creators at the bottom. I studied creators at the top.
Okay. What about them? What is the common pattern you see in the top creators that they're doing right now?
I think the beauty
And
of...
you mean YouTube top creators or Instagram top creators in general?
I think YouTube top creators.
Okay.
For example, Sharan is doing 1% Club. He's the only creator that I know personally also who's doing 1% Club, which is way beyond just social media. Raj is doing House of X. Ranveer is doing... Ranveer did Monkey.
Then Level Supermind.
And now he's doing Level Supermind. Shlok is doing Layers.
You already did Thinkschool, so...
Yeah.
आपका तो पहले से ही था.
Yeah. So, these people are using their trust, their brand value to build a better brand using their distribution. And that brand is not completely dependent on them. So I think in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe a few of these creators will take up 200 crore, 300 crore exit, and maybe they'll go on to the next leg of their life. So that's what I see. And there'll also be a reverse trend where brands will start creating content like Wint Wealth.
It's already happening.
Yeah, it's already happening. Like Growth School.
So many brands.
I was speaking to Vaibhav a few weeks back and he was talking about starting a podcast. So, do you realize what he's doing? He's already built a brand. Now he wants to command trust with the audience and he also wants a distribution of his own. He already has a distribution on LinkedIn. Now he wants to bring that to YouTube. The moment he starts doing that, more people will know Growth School because of Growth School's YouTube channel and not via Thinkschool.
Correct.
So that way, they'll be able to extract better return on ad spend. So that's how I think the top creators and the top companies will function. They will use their distribution to build something bigger, or if they're already a brand, they will build distribution in order to cultivate trust.
Makes sense. So as an infotainment creator, what is the nucleus of this? What is the nucleus of becoming a top creator? Is it value for sure? But if you have to sum it in one word or one sentence. Like for example, with Thinkschool, I feel it's the immense amount of research repackaged in a storytelling format, which makes you feel like, wow.
Okay, I will tell you where is the lacuna. There are two huge gaps in the market. One is the media space.
Okay.
Because mainstream media is messed up. And the other is the business education gap. And that is what I identify specifically for Thinkschool. For different people, it might be different things. When it comes to media, do you realize the market is so huge, bro? If there's a reservation bill that comes out tomorrow, and you want to have an opinion because you want to vote for a particular party, how will you form your opinion? Will you watch mainstream media? Not at all. But if Thinkschool puts out a video to help you understand what that bill is all about and what will be the impact of that bill on India, that is the type of content that will help you form a calculative opinion. So a creator, an infotainment creator who helps people look at the most important things in the macro world better, will go on to become a big creator. Because the market is huge and the need is also very high.
True.
The second type of creator, and this I'm talking, like I said, for Thinkschool specifically, business education. Everybody in this new India wants to learn how to do business. They want to understand how great people build businesses. They want to understand the nuances of business. And that is where business case studies, they play a very important role in building this perspective. So the nucleus of infotainment would be perspective and data-backed information.
So what is that bar? Like, how can you say that, okay, this is the content that should be created. This is the bare minimum bar. Iske niche bana rahe ho to mat banao.
Bro, the bar is very subjective. Because, this is where my assumption went wrong. I thought if you create content, it has to be bare minimum Thinkschool level. At least it has to have one concept that you can teach somebody. But then I realized that...
When did you realize this?
Sorry?
When did you realize this?
I realized this when I saw a few YouTube channels that tried to copy Thinkschool and gave out less than 50% of the value, and people were very happy about it.
Get 50% more views.
kind of. And people were very happy about it. And that's when I realized that, oh, so Thinkschool is meant for a certain category of people, probably small scale investors, business students, and people who want to understand India better, or the international audience for that matter wants to understand geopolitics better. And people who understand data, they're interested in data. And then I realized there is also a category of people who just want to understand how a particular business functions.
ऊपर से.
And to them, surface level knowledge is great knowledge. That is completely fine too. So, if we are commanding the trust of probably the apex of India, the other people might command the trust of the next slab of audience. And that's completely fine.
Yeah.
So, the bar is very subjective. And the more time that I spend in creator economy, the more I realize that there is a huge audience for whom even a reel is very insightful. So there is no bar.
And the bar is maybe not that high because you just spoke about the media. General media, the traditional media is so bad that anyone creating a 60-second reel and creating a YouTube video on surface level is better than what they are creating.
True.
So they're like, let's move here. Maybe that is what is happening.
So 1 year back, I thought the bar is minimum Thinkschool. Then I thought, maybe 50% of Thinkschool is also a great bar. And then I started to realize that 90-second reel is also a great bar. And the bar just keeps on going lower and lower.
But still higher than...
Yeah,
it's higher than something. That's what's getting a lot of views. The people are moving from this place to that place because उनको ये better लग रहा है ना.
True.
ऐसे तो move कर रहे हैं.
And also maybe because the consumption is easy now. Watching a 90-second reel is obviously easier than reading a newspaper.
Of course, but my expectation will always be a Thinkschool level content. If growing up, I was, I watched such content. Like if I was taught such high quality stuff in my school, if I was learned some stuff like that in my college, then if I watch, let's say another YouTube channel which is giving 70% lesser value, I'd be like, यार ये क्या बोल रहा है? Then I'll want more people like Thinkschool.
This is exactly what happened to me, by the way. My bar was TED. Have you watched TED Talks?
Yeah, I've organized 3 myself.
Not TEDx. TED Talks.
Sorry, bro. Yeah, TEDx.
Bro, TED Talks. I was in my 8th standard when I first watched a TED Talk by Pranav Mistry. Changed my life, bro.
Okay.
And then I started consuming more.
What does it talk about?
It talks about sixth sense technology. During that time, he built something very cool. And it blew my mind. Then I started watching more TED Talks by Rory Sutherland, by an ex-designer of Apple who spoke about habits, Tony Fadell. I learned some of the best marketing lessons, some of the best psychological lessons from TED. And that to me was, and still is, great content. Jeff Bezos, by the way, talks about why do most startups fail. And he's delivering this lecture as if he's a professor at TED. To me, that was crazy. Elon Musk's interview with Chris Anderson. I think it's a 45 minutes interview filled with insights. So to me, that was the bar. And then I started watching YouTube content. And then I realized that this is not great information, but people were still consuming. Those channels still had 1 million subscribers. And that's what, by the way, gave me the confidence that if these channels could get 1 million subscribers,
that is some confidence.
I could get at least 100,000 subscribers, right? Because my goal was basically to build something like TED for India. It probably still is to build something like TED for India, which is ideas worth spreading. Do you realize how magical it is that you're a school kid watching something in the Pentium 4 computer which buffers, and you watch something for 18 minutes and you think about it for the next 1 week? Do you realize how powerful that is?
Yeah.
It changes your life. I watched this talk by Sir Ken Robinson, which talks about how schools kill creativity. It's one of the most viewed talks in the TED library. It blew my mind, and that's what taught me that this entire education system is a scam. So earlier I thought only I had this perspective. And then I watched Sir Ken Robinson talk about it.
Yeah.
And he spoke about something very powerful. He said that kids don't have to be taught creativity. Schools educate children out of creativity. Blew my mind.
Yeah.
So do you realize how powerful it is? If somebody is sowing so many ideas in your mind at such a young age,
stopping your mind to think.
It it encourages you to think every day, encourages you to think about everything. And suddenly you realize that you're a completely different person by the end of the year. Imagine that happening for 3-4 years. I learned the most valuable lessons of leadership from Simon Sinek. And that is my bar of great infotainment content, which just blows your mind, gives you a food for thought, and changes you as a person.
Which actually is coming from case studies, real life situations.
Yes.
Which they share on Insights.
So I tell this to my juniors very often that 3 years back, we were curating 8 talks per year. Now I'm curating 8 talks per month in the form of 8 case studies. So every Thinkschool video to me is like a TED talk. And that is my aspiration, because I still don't have the money to build something like TED. So I thought, why not build a library like TED for India? So Thinkschool is basically...
I love this thought. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the most powerful thing I saw, man.
Yeah. No, even my life is a little influenced by TEDx's. Not as much as yours, but like मैंने second year में college license TEDx CVS का license लेके organize किया था. Third year में organize किया था. And that is how I met so many creators, because every creator liked, I was like, TEDx करवाता हूँ, इनको बुलाऊंगा, TEDx के लिए तो पक्का आएंगे. And that's how I called them, and they came because they wanted to be at the TEDx stage. Okay. That's how I met Vedant, that's how I met Jay, that's how I met Tanya Khanijo, that's how I met a bunch of Yash Sharma, initial clients who I worked for. And that made me realize that the world is so much larger. There's so many people doing so many things. Before that, college में तो कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा था. TEDx second year was the first time I realized there's a world outside. And then third year I did it again so that I can meet newer people. And I'm using that network. I tried doing something, and then one thing led to the other. And today it's happening.
TEDx has influenced a lot of lives.
Yeah.
More importantly, yours and mine.
काफी ज़्यादा.